Hi, welcome to Juice Bar. Today we're gonna have a review of Netflix Drink Masters. So today I'm gonna tell you what I think about Drink Masters on Netflix. While I tell you that though, I'm gonna make myself a drink because what am I doing otherwise? So Drink Master is structured like some other cooking show you might have seen on Netflix or other reality TV where you have 12 contestants going against each other. In each episode one gets kicked out from the contest, and whoever arrives at the end and wins the competition wins $100,000 offered by Pernod Ricard. Actually, it's not that heavy on sponsorship. They almost never talk about Pernod Ricard products. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe it's to get around some rules on alcohol advertisement in US or worldwide, I don't know. Anyway, so first of all, the show is well produced. There's no doubt about that. The hosts are Julie Reiner, which I made some of her drinks before. I made the Slope. I made the Clover Club. She's a legend in bartending. And then was this other guy, which was Frankie something. Not Frankie Banali. Frankie Banali was an awesome drummer for Quiet Riot. This guy was Frankie something from Canada, and oh boy, was my idea of cocktail far from his. And I think because he was one of the judge, this concept of cocktail being a lot of presentation, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of shenanigans, dry ice, fire, cooking, a lot of cooking went into the show. In some challenges, actually, he specifically asked to have some bites, something to eat, together with the cocktail. And he was always complaining like, oh, you could have done so much more on presentation. And it was so weird. I mean, for me, cocktails is such a different thing. And bartending is a different thing. But now I understand their recurring use of the word mixologist. Everybody on the show was not a bartender, but he was mainly a mixologist. And I guess that's what I'm not. I'm not a mixologist. I like to refer to myself as bartender. By the way, people on the show, they were really talented. They were doing some amazing things. As with other shows like this, like Iron Chef, you cannot really know how good is the things they are making. But you have to trust the judges on that. And in this case, some look good, some look less good. Sometimes they were bashing the contestants right away, saying like, oh, this is shit, what are you doing? You might have seen in the news a guy, Alex, tried to kill the judges in the first episode with some dry ice. And also I would say I will be out on the first episode because it's not really my thing. They ask you for your take on a martini, and if you don't make something extremely weird, including like fat washing, distillation, cooking for 1 hour and a half, something, you're not gonna pass. My concept of bartending is quite different. Yeah, that's why I think probably this contrast between bartending and mixology. What I do on my channel is bartending, something that you can do using standard ingredients, standard spirits, and wherever you are in the world, most of the time you're gonna find a way to adapt your recipe. While what they were doing on the show was extremely specific to the circumstances and their recipe, which they don't disclose much. So everything they do is really hard to replicate in a bar setting. And while he had lots of passion on the show, lots of crying, laughs, fun stuff happening, spectacular things happening, what was really lacking were the spirits. They never talked in detail about specific bottles, specific brands. The first real discussion of the quality of the spirit comes at episode 8, and it's the only time they go under the surface. They will say stuff like, oh, mezcal, I like it, it's smoky. That's it. It's not that they explain you how mezcal is made or other stuff. It's really generic. The only time they go into detail on rum agricole is episode 8, and that's the only time they actually explore the flavor profile of a specific spirit and discuss it. And I still wonder if it's a choice made by the directors or if it was implied by some rules. Like, I know you cannot advertise directly alcoholic products in some countries, and maybe that's why they refrain from showing any bottles or showing like even the logo of a Pernod Ricard. There was none of those things, which actually would have been the more interesting things to me. And most of the time what they were saying, they were elevating. They had these words they would use all the time, and elevating was the most used word. They had the bougie, as in bourgeois stuff. They had, there was lots of talk about minorities, lots of talk about LGBTQ community. So, no spoilers, but maybe I'm gonna go in spoilers after the credits of this video. Overall, did I enjoy the show? Yeah, I thought it was kinda good. Not my kind of drinks. I got a couple of ideas I might experiment with. First episode, they infuse tequila with mushroom. They will use a lot of mushroom in different ways, and that's something I can try. There was too much fat washing of everything, but I guess sooner or later we will have a fat washing episode here on this channel. Other techniques included making pearls of stuff with agar-agar, which also I might explore, or making foam with lecithin, and that's also something that maybe one day I will try. But they are not... it seemed like that Frankie guy really cared about these things. So if you didn't do this, you were basically not a good bartender. Let me finish this with some expression of lemon peel. And there you go. An elevated vodka martini. Cheers. Oh, not bad for a first try. Actually, I could have even garnished it. You see, I always forget about garnishing stuff because I don't really care. With some lemon thyme. What I did here is a simple vodka martini, 4-to-1, 4 parts vodka, stolichnaya, 1 part Coke Americano. I grinded some a juniper berry, some pink pepper and some fresh lemon thyme in my mortar. This is actually a technique that was not featured much on the show because I guess it's too fast. Grinding stuff inside your spirits to change the flavor profile is a super fast technique that you can do at any time without infusing or distilling or vaporizing or jello or nothing. You just do it straight away in front of the client or just in your bar with really good results. And yeah, they didn't feature it much because it's too fast. They had a 1 hour and a half, 2 hours to make drinks, and grinding something like that is just really quick and less effort, I guess. This is actually pretty good. I just have this idea, I went with it. It's not bad at all. Yeah, the coffee Americano, kind of critical. It gives a bit of sweetness to an overall too dry drink. And of course, it's like it's used in the Vesper of James Bond fame. So what do I think about the series overall? It was fine, it was like the other shows actually, but there are some better ones. I just saw the Easy Bake competition with Anthony from Queer Eye, and that was a lot more fun. And anyway, the techniques they use in the Easy Bake with Anthony were definitely more usable in a normal contest than those used in the Drink Master Show. So overall, if you like cocktail, you can watch it, but again, the focus of the show is really much on cooking and making flavors from scratch. It's not about as much bartending. One of the things that attracted me the most to bartending is it's extremely global. Because spirits and bottles, most of them are well distributed around the world, you can make a cocktail all around the world and it will be the same. Simple recipe, 3 to 5 ingredients recipe to me are the best, and it's what people drink the most. This recipe gets shared millions of times to billions of people around the world and everybody can drink it. The creation prepared in this show, they were not that. They were just one-off exercises of creativity and technique. I would say 90% of those drinks will never be replicated again. If not, in maybe more simple concept in the bar of these bartenders. On the other side, I'm happy they put a focus on bartending in a series that's gonna be really popular around the world. I don't complain new people coming in and enjoying cocktails. Actually, I'm happy. Now, after this show, a lot more people will know what New Year's Sour is. And a lot of more people will know what Mezcal or Rum Agricole are. Really vaguely, but you know, it's a start point. Some people that saw this show, they're gonna get into more serious bartending. So that's definitely good. I will keep my thoughts about how the series end for after the credits. So for now, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this review. Be different. I still propose you a quite a nice drink. Steal yourself a drink, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers. So now for the spoiler talk, I'm just gonna talk about 2 of the characters. Again, if you haven't seen the series, don't watch this. But the winner, LP, she was really good. She was my favorite from the first episode. She always came up with great idea. In the show, they downplayed her skills. They just say, oh, she's a baker. In reality, I searched online and she already prepared drinks for the Emmys. So, not quite unexperienced bartender. Anyway, they had to build the story, and the best story, I don't know how much it was built by the editor and how much it was real. It was the one of Suzu, this guy of Japanese heritage and some other heritage which I didn't understand. Anyway, Suzu from San Francisco, first of all, he was a really sweet guy. He was really nice, he was fun, he was one of the most, I say, gentle people on the show. Some were pretty rough, some were really I'm the best bartender in the world, I'm gonna win this thing, blah blah blah. Suzu was super nice, And he played on his Japanese heritage a lot. So much so that at some point I think he was bullshitting the judges. He said, I made this drink with the cranberries because for us in Japan, cranberry are a winter fruit. And I was like, what? There are no cranberries in Japan. I never saw one until last week. I went to Costco and then I found a bag of cranberries made in Wisconsin, state most famous for the Green Bay Packers, the highest consumption of alcohol per capita in the USA, and the fact that Hillary Clinton didn't go there in 2016 and lost the election to Trump. But there are no cranberry in Japan. I have such a hard time finding cranberry juice even. But besides that time, his Japanese influences were definitely real, well-founded. He did some really creative thing. And the thing, he started out as the crappiest bartender on the show. And every time was up for elimination. And every time he made it. Just this time, this lady, she was really good at aisling. But she had the idea of blending cakes with alcohol. And that went really bad for her. She could have kicked out Suzu. So many people could have kicked out Suzu. But once they were against him, they were panicking. But the funny thing, at some point, if Suzu made this wild drink and just pour sesame oil in it like that, and sesame oil is super powerful, it would overpower anything you make. But he nailed apparently the amounts perfectly, and from that point on, which is about halfway through the series, it becomes super good. They love, the judges love Suzu drinks. And he almost made it to the final, and the episode before the last, he was up for elimination again, and we're like, come on Suzu, you can make it. Yeah, they kicked him out just right there. But he made it to the semi-finals, and yeah, he was the most fun guy on the show, definitely. And that's about it.